Jim, just a quick one. I'm going to leave before the end today.
You
This is
can't.
Kim.
This is for you.
I know. I saw. I
Right
thought
down
you.
right down the street from you.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I know.
I saw it and I was very excited, and I am very excited to paint it. But
Oh,
I
you
have to be.
okay? I
It's,
understand. Hey,
it's Valentine's night.
Oh, is
Got to
it?
be done.
Is
Yeah,
it? Oh,
yeah, yeah,
baby, go,
yeah,
go, go. Forget
yeah,
about this stuff. You can always paint this.
yeah.
Pretend you're here. You can sneak out of class anytime. So, good for you. Uh, Let me. I got to set up my last phone here. In fact, I got to go grab it. I'll be right back. That's last week's painting. Take a gander. Okay, back to it. Got to just set up my phone. Sorry about that. I thought I had everything going, and then all of a sudden I don't have anything going. Send this to myself. We are live. Okay. We'll get that later. All right. Yeah, last week you guys kicked the snot out of this one. I can't believe how many really nice paintings. I mean, I think everybody did a super job on this one. Sarah, you did such a good job the first week. She didn't even come back for the second week. She had it finished. She just took the week off. Uh, but everybody else, Kim, Carrie, who was it? Lisa, yeah, and Charlie. I didn't know, remember seeing yours on Facebook, but yeah, you guys just I was very proud.
I had to leave early and then I had to work on it during the week and I didn't get a chance.
Well, you
Aside
put
from
it up
being
there. You put it up there. Okay. Uh, Good job, fabulous. But that was last week. We go to this week. We got something really tough to do. But I'm only going to paint a small one. You guys are in trouble. No. Some paintings just don't call for it to be big. They just call for like a smaller painting. They just could, because of, I think it's the the indications of the painting, like the things. When I look at a photo, I look at it, see it as a painting, and I kind of judge it where it should be, what size it could be. This is one I've seen like hundreds of times, and it being a, where is it? Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. Just being uh, a alley scene like this. This might not be an alley. Could be just a regular street too, but I think it's an alley. This is in York, and it was just a a photo somebody put up there from our reference things, and I just loved it. I said, yeah, that I could see that. I love the grays in it. My printer, of course, is dead. But I love how great it is, and I love the street scene. And I saw a lot of like things that I thought were going to be like indications, painting and indications, not a full blown representational painting of it. It's just the small little details that make up a big painting. And I just thought those how to do those details are always fascinating. And I'm going to show you guys an artist today that I just think is probably one of the best guys who does street scenes in the world. His name is Peter Brown. They call him Pete the Street. He works out of London there, and he just is amazing work. But so let me bring up some things here, and we'll go over this. I would say, yeah, look up Pete the Street. Whoops, wrong one. What did I do? Okay.
Jim, I've always been intimidated by these. I probably have a dozen photographs of alleyways at night in Europe and just because I love them.
Yeah.
But I've never really tried because I'm so afraid of getting completely mired in the architectural details.
That's
Excuse
what
me.
that is yes. A lot. That's what happens to all of us. We all get that way. We all think we got to show everything. Everything we show, everything in there, we have to show. We have to make every indication back in here, exact. And there's no way. There's no way to do it. That's why if you paint a small painting, you can't do it. You can't. It's impossible, especially if you paint with big brushes. You're forced to make really the right gesture, right indication of the mark instead of going and making it an exact shape and things like that.
What's your small today?
I'm just going 12 by 16.
Okay. It's not fine.
That's a small one. What you're doing?
9 by 12.
Well, there you go. We're in the same pro.
11 by 14 tops. That's huge for me.
11 by 14 is good. That's good size. That you should be able to get that done. That's the thing is the way these things are. If you paint like plein air and things, you really got to be done painting. Well, if you got a great day, you can paint extra hours on a painting. But if on a sunny day, you get an hour and a half at the most before everything changes, light changes, and you got a different painting. You got to start. But this is our scene. This is York. This is just an alleyway down in York, I think it was. I cropped into the painting, as you can photo a lot. Well, a lot, but it wasn't, so that's why it's really kind of, so JPEG it down there. You can just see, you can't see much down there. It's just pixelated back there. But that's okay. We see shapes, we see squares, we see fog, we see air. So it's separated out pretty good. Okay. The gray version, really value-wise, it looks darker than it is, I must say. Really, the interesting thing about this is this painting is built right here from 6 to 0. Everything in this whole area is nothing but 6 is as dark as it goes, maybe 7, except for like little lines and things that are 7s. Everything else is built off of gray values of 5 to 4 mostly, and that's only in this area. Sorry, let me get rid of that.
So those windows, for instance, aren't.
No, that's what I was going to say. Is the only thing in this thing that is dark are these windows here and here, and everything else basically is that value, or the value of 7 on up, 7 to 1 ish. Yeah. But these guys here, these guys here are going to grab a lot of attention and pull and really help create, distance because of just because of the contrast of them being a little bit darker against the other ones. They're going to hold it. They're going to hold the painting down in spots. So, like I said, these grays definitely a drop down. I mean, the sky, of course, is your brightest bright, but we're going to try and keep it towards less than 1, a little bit more towards 2 than 1. We'll see. That's the thing, is I try not to make it too bright because it's going to be steal the show. It works in a photo, but sometimes it just steals too much of the show in a painting. And it probably wasn't that bright when the photo was taken. Of course, it usually goes a lot grayer than that. But I think everything else in there is probably about right. Let's see. The guy, we have a couple people in it, 3 people. And of course, he's nothing more than, a couple rectangles, split, right? His head can even be a square. Not much there. The other person, same thing. Maybe a bag. If you can tell that's a person, that's all the indication is. And that's the same over here with this person over here walking. He's just a little bit lighter than the darks around him, so he's separated out that way, and then his pants are a little bit dark compared to the lights around it. The only way that you can separate those things out. And of course, there's no details. You can't paint details. You don't see them, so don't paint them. Okay, this is the nice grayscale. The color's very grayed out. Okay, Pete the Street. Well, Pete the Street. Here's Pete the Street. This is sort of what I was thinking.
Wow.
Yeah, Pete's pretty fabulous. You look at this thing and it looks tight as hell, right? It looks like unbelievable. It's just accurate. It's very one-point perspective where everything, basically comes down to one point. Everything comes that same point. Everything, right? Straight. It makes it kind of simple when you got one point that everything has to go to, lean towards. And then verticals, pretty much nothing but straight up and down. You don't have to worry about a lot of perspective on your verticals. They're pretty much eye level, so they're pretty much straight like this. But everything else, when you go to your horizontals, you all go to the same point. It looks tough, doesn't it? It looks terrible. It looks like, oh my God. And he does these in a couple hours, right? You think it's tight. That's a person. That's a person. That's a car. That's a house back there. It's one color. That house is nothing but one color and a couple really perfectly placed square marks, right? Rectangles on top of rectangles. Windows, nothing but reverse L's, mostly. And then as we come forward, how sharp this thing looked. It looks super, super sharp when you pull back. But you come up here and you can see that it's not quite that sharp. I mean, yeah, it's sharper than a lot of other things around there, but it could, in a in painting, you could make that a lot cleaner and sharper. But in this case, look at how he did it. He could see that if it's sharp enough, and it worked fabulous. If you make it any sharper, then you're probably going way too much detail to yourself. Yeah, these are people. Triangle, just rectangles broken up with shadow light or highlights. If you can find a highlight, sometimes it's just a value change is a highlight, especially in these green streets. That water that looks crazy, doesn't it? It looks amazing. Look at that. But if you really break it down, you come in here a little closer and you break it down, you can see that just, really nice design shapes for the water. But it's basically one town, one or two towns, and then some markings on top. And the markings come from the gray street around it. Pretty easy to, you're there. So that's why you got to figure out when you paint things, how you layer your colors. So when you layer dark to light, when you paint all these darks in here early, in this spot here, come on, when you paint that shape first in dark, then you paint the lights in coming around it and soften it up on the edges, right? And then with that same color, you can come back and do the little noogies in there. You see all these little noogies. They're just noogies. They're just two marks close together, slight arc. Sometimes they do it on their own with your paintbrush. That's why I like putting them in with my knife. Those little things, I like putting them in with my knife because they do it for you. They might come in too sharp. He probably has a nice little brush for that. But I hate little brushes are terrible in my hands. Yellows, you can see the yellow, beautiful spots, how he brings it in here. A lot of that is just wet onto wet paint that happens. It's going to mix because how it mixes. It's going to hit here, spot here, mark, and then he just cleans it back up afterwards. Beautiful stuff. This is, interesting areas like that. And then you got this area. We got a lot of this, right? Okay, this is nothing but a quagmire of color, of mixes, of of grays, basically all built off of each other. You got this dark one over here, in the shadow and stuff. You add enough white to it, you're going to get 3/4 of this stuff. You can get a red side, you can get a green side, you can just get a neutral side, almost out of this same batch. And then all you have to do is come back, and this is why we play with the knife a little bit, because of these nice little marks like this. These are perfect for knives, small brushes. A lot of times you put them in, and then you can come back and just touch them with a brush at the end and soften them up. But just the idea of going from a dark highlight to a light highlight, when you're doing water scenes like this, or street water scenes, when you're trying to create something like that and not overdoing it. He didn't do every one going back here. He just did these 3, 4 here that are. So you work in, think about it in groups of 3 when you do things like this. Don't do 50 of them. Just do 3 here, 3 there, 3 here, 3 there, and you're done. You don't have to do too many. Sometimes do 4, but that's how simple it is. It's just going dark to light and just mixing the colors and letting the canvas, help. It's there to help. Here's another one of his. This is a little bit farther taken. This is more like a fully realized painting of his, where he took it back in the studio and finished it, where you can see how the people are here. Nothing more than, a box with a couple legs off it. squared up cars, nothing but rectangles on top of rectangles, slightly designed. The one thing too about when you're doing paintings, you're painting cars, don't get caught up unless it's nothing but the car you're painting, a specialty car. But if it's on the street and stuff like that, you age your painting if you paint a certain type of car too well, and it's only that make that year, or stuff like that. You kind of put a date on your painting, and you can date your paintings become dated because of those things. But you can see back in here, yeah, nothing but rectangles, little mushy squishies here, grays all built off of each other. This row of houses looks amazing, doesn't it? I mean, just going down there, and basically it's just a separation of colors. That's all it is. I mean, it's basically a lot of the color, a lot of the same color, just nicely moved around. You got a couple, a light against a dark, a cool against a warm, and then going down there, and you can see even up here the details of everything forward to everything backwards. The details here, you get an arch, you get a sort of pillars, you sort of get windows. Same here, same there. As you go back, that gets quicker and less and less. That's the thing, is you don't give everything. You can't give back here as much detail as you do the things you really see. If you do, you flatten the painting out, and the painting doesn't go very far. This is more probably what we kind of thing we'll be painting today. You could see exactly how you go 1 point perspective again, going back there. Everything goes back to about the same point. The thing about the older streets and things like that, they're not straight. They're not built straight, so everything does get a little cantilevered here, a little bit moved around. So you got to work. You're going to have that to deal with, but the thing is to know that it doesn't have to be perfect. Because look at this thing. You don't have to be perfect. But if you come in here and you can see, look at him, he knows that. But he knows he has to be really, just be close, consistently close, and you can get everything done and make it exciting. And that's what he does. It's just like he takes a really everyday scene like this and just without overworking it, and just using very much simple grays to make a beautiful painting. This guy's amazing. I love his work. Okay, but back to ours. That's gonna be tough. Back to ours. Okay, perspective wise, I looked at this. I did do some overhead work ahead of time. The horizon line's almost in the middle. As you can see, I did this red line here, straight across here around number 5 here. And it runs straight across the middle. That's because that's where all these, all the 1 point perspective goes to. You got, like I said, some things, these buildings are built off of, there's turns and stuff like that in these buildings. So this is 1 point perspective for each building, basically. So this first one, right behind the guy's head here, let me get my trusty thing here. Oh, where is it? Oh, here it is. Right behind this guy's head here, you got a lot of 1 point perspective coming down for this guy here, and it's right around this guy's head. The street is on another perspective, and that's right in here. I like to go in here. You got to remove these. So that goes right in here, just close to the guy, but all the street stuff, all these straight lines here, and cobblestones and things, sort of, kind of lean towards this one spot back here in between these two other perspective or points here. So they all go back to here. This goes to one building here, this main building. This area, this one here, goes to this other side of the street. So you can just see that they moved around, and they're all built. They all go right here to the horizon line that runs this way. All right. Oh, and also, and then this building here, it's tilted out. I'm sorry, it is 4. This one, you got this one over here too for this guy. This is what I'm going to say here about perspective points. If you make finding them and making them, just being consistent about where, what building goes to what perspective, what point is all you have to do. I mean, you don't have to be exact on these guys. As long as you're going back to the same perspective point for like all these windows, they all go back. This building goes all the way back to this one over here. This guy can be adjusted, can go anywhere. You can move it all back here, but just have them all go back to that point. Okay. So you don't have to be, exact on this. I'm not going to be exact, but the only thing you got to, and if you have them go back to the right perspective point, you'll be fine. That'll work as long as they're on the same horizontal line here. Horizon line, sorry. Also, the blue ones here, I got some blue stripes here. They are showing that everything kind of goes very vertical. These are straight up and down shots, straight up and down lines here. And you can see that all the lines here on this guy are going back, straight up and down here. They all are parallel. They're just, just got to be in the right, get the right shape, right size. Laying it out, going to take a little time. And then we'll get the darks in, and then everything else is midtones. She should be able to get there pretty quick. That painting, I say quickly, but
this isn't a 2-week painting.
if it was 2 weeks, you won't. You tell us if you guys want to go 2 weeks out of, that's take us almost to the end there. And then we have to do a 1 week at the end. Yeah, well, let's lay it out. And that's the thing is, I'll show you some tools you can, get your straight edges with if you need them, if you want to do straight edges and things. Like down in here, most of the stuff here, since it's a blurry type of photo anyway, everything's kind of done for you. You can just put in these, nicely marked out spots here. You can just put these guys in, and those are your lines in your straight. That's all you have to do is make a 4 and an H here, and then do a different H over here, and then that's the thing is looking, understanding the spacing and that everything in the front here is going to be just a little bit bigger and a little wider, and everything beyond it gets a little smaller. Let me show you one more thing I wanted to show. Yeah. Yeah, you do have this nice circle up there in the top too. That's kind of nice. That nice wreath kind of also makes it a Christmassy thing, but also it's still pretty cool. Um, let's go back here. Okay, color wise, yeah, very very tannish brown, right? Gray browns. You got your cools, you got your greens, you got your reds, you got your neutrals, you got, and they all are so simple to, you know, they're all like built off of this area right here. I mean, you could build them off of this color here almost and get those browns there and these browns here. It's just a little richness. Um, this is like a burn umber and blue painting. If you could paint it in blue, two colors, you'd be burn umber and blue. You might need a red for little accents. But that's about it. That you could do it easily that way with just, you know, that and white. If you want to try it that way. I don't like to use burnt umber that much because of it cracks on regulars over time. And I'm so worried about my paintings lasting forever. You know that. So, but anyway, that's what I have kind of planned for this one. It's kind of like a Pete the Street interpretation of this scene. And let's see how we do. Any questions?
What's his last name again? Pete?
Peter Brown.
Thank you.
They call him Pete the Street. Yeah, you should look him up. He might even teach around there. But yes, he does some just amazing work. Amazing guy. All right. Let's close this out. Get back to work. Yeah, I'm going to be painting pretty small. I'll try to bring you guys in for it. But let's mix up our palette. And like I said, that, the colors on this one are going to be pretty simple. They're going to be a lot of these grayer things, browns. Maybe ochre will be a great one in here too. But here's our regular colors again. Ooh, cleaned it off. Just clean off my knife. All right. You're going to be doing titanium white would be a big one in this one. You got some cad yellow light. You got some cad red. You never know. With cad red, you never know how much we're going to be using on it. Cad orange might find its way in. Ochre. Ochre is an interesting one. I mean, this painting could be based off of ochre. You could paint it almost, ochre as your neutral and then add the colors to it and stuff. You could do like almost a Zorn type of color palette for this one, which would be interesting. This one we have, let me get this dried paint out of here. This is just our light oxide red, alizarin crimson, cobalt blue hue, phthalo green on the blue shade, and transparent oxide red. That'll be like our burnt umber. That's like burnt sienna, and this is like a Venetian or a Terra Rosa. I do have I can't use not that one, but I do have some cad red medium up here, just in case I need to use it. Our equipment today, of course, we're going to be using our knife, big brush, big ideas, some nice synthetics. I might even use a small little guy like this for people, doing legs and stuff. Sometimes I like to doing things a lot with my knife for legs and stuff like that, but people, sometimes you get joints and stuff, and sometimes they're just a nice flick than more of that makes just a little bit too stiff. So maybe just a tip of that. Some nice straight edges, cleaner outer here, and a straight edge like this, a little thing great for verticals. You know, doing straight up and downs lines. You can do them really easy with this, or you can do your perspective. You have a, let's say the tip of this guy is your perspective point. You line it up there. You just keep this tip to that tip, and then you just rotate this thing around until you get all your 1 point perspective. It's all off of that. Keeping this at 1 point, and then everything else around it goes back to that same point, even up top. That's how easy it can be. Bristle brushes could be really nice, especially when you need distance, especially brick distance on some of these buildings. Keeps you from doing super sharp edges and stuff like a synthetic does, which is good for a lot of points up close. But as we get distance wise in the painting, bristle brushes will come in handy, and they'll work all over the painting. But you know, they're really gonna keep you from doing too sharp points, too sharp paint strokes. All right. Well, let me get that back up. We'll be doing a lot of work with this today. All right. So, like I said, a lot of browns. We're going to try and make this, keep it a little simple. Yeah. Going to try. That's the big thing, is where it is, try. Darks are simple, pretty simple in this one. You got warm darks, cool dark. We're going to start off with transparent oxide. And I'm going to make decent piles of this, putting this out here. And that's like a burnt sienna, a little warmer. And I'm going to go, first color I'm going to put together is blue. Blue and transparent oxide. So I'll bring it in, and one's going to be on the blue side, which will look like a burnt umber. More blue I put into
That's
it.
the cobalt blue?
Yeah, the cobalt blue.
Okay.
Sorry. That's the only blue I have on here.
Oh, okay.
So I don't say too much
You
about
don't have the phthalo green thing? You
I
got
do
the
have
blue
green.
and the phthalo green. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I do have. Yeah. But I just call it blue. That's all I'm just saying. You might call my cobalt blue hue just
Gotcha.
blue to save some time.
Okay.
That's all. So that'll be that. I'm going to say it's the blue side. This I'm going to keep on the red side of the color, but it's still got to have some blue in it, just to darken it, gray, knock it off that peak. I'm going to leave it there though. I'm going to leave it a little bit rich like that, because I think I can. It's going to end up being a lot of these bricks and stuff in here, and these two colors here. All right, so that's one color. And then the next one would be phthalo green. I could do definitely could probably do phthalo green and transparent oxide too, but I want to do transparent. Split it up and just do oxide, light oxide red down in here, and phthalo green. God. Oh man, thought there was more of it there. I find out there's skin on top. My paint here, it looks so good. So half the paint has a skin on it, so I can't use, can't use it. When it's dried, it's dried. You can't really revitalize it. But there's enough paint. I might be able to get this where I want it. At least these two. I wanted to do one more color with this. Basically, I'm just going to do green and blue versions of these guys. Let me see if I have it here. Oh, yeah.
Okay, number four.
Yeah, this is,
Number four was, and it's on the red side.
yeah, it's same color.
Okay,
Instead of being on the green side, it's on the red side. There we go. Have enough of it. Now, this would probably be enough to do the painting right here. This, we could keep it that simple. You guys want to keep it that simple?
Yeah.
I like.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right,
Yeah.
let's. You know, this is the thing: is we got to try these things. Yeah, we're gonna have to mix a couple greens and stuff for up top, right? And a couple red and a little things here and there. But we can. We might have to add more blue to this one and this up here. Let's split these guys. We're gonna take it down to 7, and make a 7, and then we're gonna probably take these things down to 4s. And then you're gonna need probably 3, might even just go to 3s. 7, 4, 2, yeah. Kind of break it down into stages so you don't have to do every value change. Okay. You guys want to be smart? We'll be smart. 4 colors. We're just gonna break it down, add enough white to make it a 7. So this is just blue and transparent oxide. See that? And I put that, that is like a burn umber. Close to a burn umber. It's not quite there. Value 7 right now, it's at 9. So that tells you how much whiter that is. This is probably going to take it to an 8. One more piece here. And I might be able to get it to a 7. Yeah, look at how tan it is. That's a long jump. But that's going to get all the stuff in here. 7. Close to a 6, almost. Which is good. Good enough. After that, everything gets lighter. So that's your blue side. I might have to push these guys too. And then this is the red side to a 7. I was hoping to get closer to these guys, this front brick color. Just a little more. We're going to make some adjustments after we add white. So that's 7. This is on the green side. Since we have to make these things do double duty, since you guys want to take it so simple. All right, that's a lot of white I had to add into this one. This phthalo green transparent, or this is a regular oxide. Yeah, as you can see, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't fit in this one at all. So that one, I'm going to have to put a lot of red in. I'm going to have to put out a lot more white too. This is more of the color of the painting, right? Well, you don't run out of, yeah. This, in fact, would be the green, almost the green in the street right here.
Jim, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If I look at what I've got and what you've got, they all look warm.
Okay.
So I did a little burnt umber and blue, and then added the white as well, just to see. And that's cooler. And I'm wondering, is that a problem to have all of those going on? Because I like, obviously the right idea is to use these colors and just gradate them to?
No, I think what you definitely need. You said they feel warmer than this, right?
Those feel warm, and then the burnt umber and blue feels a cooler gray.
Okay. Do you have burnt sienna?
Yeah.
Okay. Do one in burnt sienna and in your blues, and then and then burnt umber. Just that way, you'll have everything you need.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Just instead of using these two, use burnt umber and thing,
Okay.
and they'll work out the same way. As long as you stay with those throughout. Definitely, I can see some nice burnt umber spots in here in the wet, and some of the things. It's really great. But that's the thing with, as long as you're staying true to your colors, you're not just, shifting them around too much, you'll be fine. Putting a warm where a warm goes, cool where a cool goes, you'll be fine.
Yeah, that was the point. So thank you.
Yes, just stay in the right value. You'll be fine. Yeah, so we got these are warms. These are cools. Green, definitely we don't need this green. We need it more red. It's okay up here. Down in, when you get to the midtones, this is a green. This would be the green in the street and some of these tiles right in here where you can't see it. It's that. And so the brown around them has to go differently. So it could go to this. We could go to these two. But this green here is not in the painting. At least not much. Not like this. So I'm adding more red to it, bring it down. And now I add white to lighten it up. And now that could almost definitely help up there. See?
Is that more?
Yeah, that's just adding more red to it. My green phthalo took over up here. You can't tell, but when you add white to it, the phthalo just takes over. So I added a lot more red to it. And basically, if I keep adding this, basically this is like a stage before this. Really, this color will become this color. If I add white to it, or a little more white to it, it's going to get really close to that color. It really is. Except for its fact, like it is slightly on the red side. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I can see this color here definitely could go on the face of this this bottom part of this building. You go with the dark underneath, and then you come back with this kind of stuff on front of it. Over here, we might stay a little warmer. That would help give us a little distance. We'll talk about that when we get there. Okay. So those are in midtones for the painting. Let's lighten them up one more time. Let's take them down to, this is at 7. Let's just take a piece of them. Lighten them up to, let's go here. That would be about a 3 or 4. So it's like half and half. So half and half. That might have gone to 2. Close to 2. Okay, not half and half. Let's keep that one down here. Try it again. Not half and half, but let's go put a quarter of it in. Quarter white. Yeah. Now get us into this area here. Boy, I really thought I had enough white out too. And a lot of times these colors, just from one color to the next, the strength of that color kind of shines through. Takes a lot more white to like move it like here. When you get to the transparent side of it, took a little bit more white to make it move.
My white, it's just gobbling white.
Huh?
It's just gobbling white.
Yeah, it does. So even at the next point, you might want to put out white and then bring the color into it. That way you don't use up
Wow,
all your white at the end.
good point. Okay.
Yeah, but even here, this is about right. So a nice big stage, but that's it. Nice big jump. 4 colors. So that one didn't jump at all. That one I used, like I said, used all my white on. And then we'll just make a couple specialty colors. And they shouldn't be too much. I mean, yeah, you got to definitely get the sky. The sky's a little warm, a little blue. So that's why I was thinking about this down here, just coming down from the blue and the thing, because it does have a little coolness to it and a little that to it. But sometimes this green over here and the red kind of do it too. So I like to find out which one's which.
Okay, what are we doing?
I'm just gonna go take it up to a number to 2 now. So it's just like we said, put the white out first.
Yeah.
Put the white out first. Except for that one I already had down. I'm gonna take and lighten it up that way. And then take a piece of these guys and bring them in. Doesn't have to be too much. One thing about, when I was painted a few people this last few weeks here, my God, are they on the high? We're on such a high key painting. Um, you know, we never we deal with the whole range of colors. People are just so tight. They're 4s and on up. You might get values of 7 or something like that around in the shadows. See, these guys didn't move at all. That's because these colors are so strong. So even when I put it into white, it just didn't move much. It'll look better. And then tinting wise, this is what I was saying. Maybe this color here might get up to the gray, but it didn't do it. This one stayed on the warm side. I'm going to add a little bit of blue to it. So it's a blue gray. So now we're just going to go back in and tint. So that still feels warm. Oh, got some green in it. I'm taking that off. Try again. Let's try and take this up to the sky color. And like I said, it's going to eat up all my white. I'm going to do that over here for you. So basically, this is transparent blue and transparent oxide, oxide red and blue. And then you see how the warmth just took over the blue. So I was going to bring in blue here, but each time I do it, I just was catching green on the outside. So I want to just put in a little bit of blue to gray it out. I do have, so it matches these values. And that is really close to what we need. Just on the blue side. So this could go just a little bit more blue on this side. So I might take and just split these piles. I have this one and just see what happens here just by shoving just a little bit more blue into it. This just didn't gray out the way it should, this first color. See, that gray there would be all over the streets. It's just a nice neutral gray. Yeah, it's all over the street. It's good. So basically, I'm making up like 3 colors here. This one is just a little bit more blue, more net, more right.
Green, greeny.
And this one, just split it, and just a touch more blue. I'll tell you. So just trying to get more, a little bit. These are a little bit on the warm side, so yeah, adding a little bit more blue to getting it in the gray side. Sometimes adding blue will just darken it up, so you might have to come back with white and lighten it to the right value. Those guys are starting to work. These guys are just a hair too close. You know, these guys here, I might just see about, I added just a hair of red to this just to change it. See, if I add red to it over here, if I add red to it, I'm going to make that feel more green.
Okay. My first one went to green, not to blue.
Okay.
Oh,
Up here.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, then just add more blue to it.
Just keep it on blue. Okay.
Just add some more blue to it. It is on a greenish tone to it,
Okay.
but it's grayed out. So the so there's just enough white. They match enough that they cancel each other out. The red and the blue cancel each other out, kind of make that gray. Okay, looking at this. Okay, now I think I can get it pretty much everything here. You might, end up doing a lot of this little stuff will be just adding in um, just like a sliver of colors now. Maybe even, a few places back there might have a touch more tinge of green into them, little things, into the street. It looks like the street to catch water since it's catching a little bit of water, so it's catching a little bit more sky. It's catching the cobblestone color, so it's catching a little. So it's really kind of starting to reflect a lot of the green. Where on the sidewalks, it's staying a little more warm, and so we're catching a lot more of the warm side of the colors. Okay, you're just going to need a couple, some greens for the flowers up there. I would just go with like ochre and let's try. We got ochre and blue. Let's see what that does for your dark. That might even be in here, Oh, no. Yes. Let's start there though. I'm going to go darken that in to a blue side, just a little bit ochre. There you go. Just on the green side. Yeah. This is the bottom of these guys of the flowers, and can do pretty much any of the greens. And then the brighter greens and stuff. Well, I'm trying to see if I was trying to do an ochre, but I might have to put just a touch of cad into it. No, let me try this one. No, didn't move it right away, and sometimes it doesn't move it right away, you know it's not going to work. So there you go, a little closer, probably just a touch of white into that, and or sky, and you probably get it. Be good enough to go. That'll be good enough to go. So that came from green started off with ochre and blue, mostly blue. And I took a piece of that, and I go over here. This is the ochre side, and I couldn't get it with yellow into it. I was hoping to get the highlight green up here. So I went back to the blue side and added yellow, cad yellow to it. It was right, but it was just a little bit strong. So I just went over, instead of adding just white, I added sky color. This is our sky color. Basically, it just has a little bit of blue, transparent oxide and blue in it. It's on the blue side and, right down the middle, close to white, just an off-white. And that really greened it out just right. I can use
This is for what? Those geraniums?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just up there.
Yeah.
And I can use it for a lot of things. I can use this with a touch of white into it. Will little boxes, things like that.
Yeah. Okay.
You can get in there and get some of these things, without mixing up too many more colors. Looking at this, I think I pretty much have enough to get going. That's the thing is, if you can go a lot farther on this one, but you don't have to. I'm thinking this one needs just a touch more richness to it for a few other places. So this one, more transparent oxide to it too. Oh, well, green in it now too. Okay. Let's just leave that there then. All right, I'll go through the colors. We'll use these because the drawing is going to be fun. So we just started off with transparent oxide and blue. That just usually gives you usually a nice gray, nice grays when you add white to it. Warm gray on the red side and then cool gray on the dark side. So when I came down here, the transparent oxide's a little bit, even at this stage, is a little bit stronger, but it's a nice neutral. So I took of transparent oxide and blue at 7. But I added more blue to it because I needed a blue side for a few things. Because it was just everything was on the warm side. So I kind of cooled it off. So I basically took 2 colors, made it 3. Took those 3 colors down here and took them to a number 4-ish. And then I took them down and made them to 2. So this is the transparent side. Then we just did phthalo green and the other side, the light oxide red. Or you can do this is Terra Rosa or Venetian. Works fine. So these darks will come in handy about holding the painting down from up front. And then when you gray them down to the midtones, these will take care of the rest of the front of the painting. And then as you come down, these guys will take care of the back of the painting. And that should do it. Hopefully. Contrast, just keep it down like where right after this guy walking, where'd it go? Let's say right here, if you split the painting right here, back in here, right after, right where he is, everything back in here, the contrast dies down. You don't get any of this darks here too much, or the lines and stuff are just a little, you know, not as dark back in here as they are in the front. Even when that will make it. If you watch that, you just separate those guys out, you're gonna get your distance and it'll be fun. The greens over here again, these are just ochre and blue. Mostly blue on this side, a little bit more ochre on that side. I don't know. I might be able to find some places for this, or it'll be a nice quick mix there. But I went over here and I took this the blue side of the ochre and blue, and added yellow to it, and then I added a little bit of sky to it just to calm it down. And then I was trying to see what other greens I can get. You never know. It could be just touching it in. Then you got some pinks and reds and stuff. Those are just going to be breaks up of cads and just a touch of white. Nothing too perfect. Cad and white, just in perfect for geraniums up there. And then you just add more white to it. Maybe a little, I don't want to waste any more sky, but sky and red to it. And you can get those little signs, little things like that. Peaches could be people, that kind of stuff. All right. We got enough to do now. So let's get busy. I'm going to tone this canvas with, I don't want it too warm. That's the thing so I'm going to go with the light oxide red tone to it. That will keep it neutral. Burnt umber would be perfect too. Burnt umbers, a lot of people don't have problems with burnt umber, but that's a nice neutral. And let's get going. And I'll show you guys how to lay this out. At least we can get the layout of this one going. Cameras, you ready? I'm trying to get all my cameras in here. Give you guys the primo spot. And one of the things is that even if I bring this in as tight as I could, I can't get in here.
You got to get that printer fixed. Those red streets are pretty glaring.
Hey, I know. I just got. all I got to do is just swap it out. I'm just such a cheapskate. I tell you the truth about doing that stuff. Oh, we can make it one more time. It's not bad enough yet. So it could be worse. So, all right. There we go. Here we go. All right. Yeah, you look bad. Clean oil. Definitely good clean oil today. It's always, like I was mentioning last week, at least when you start your second round of adjustments, making sure you have your oils changed. Got a nice clean batch instead of it being, mine gets dirty. So I don't put out a lot of oil as I go. But it happens. Good clean brush. Good. All right. Light oxide. And a nice tone even tone on this painting. And this stuff showing through might be just the case. You know, like if I keep it at a, stained 4, value of 4 when I color here. So it's a little heavier, and that's all around. It might be really move this painting along, especially when I have to do like these brick areas and stuff like that, that this stuff showing through can, might be nice. So more paint maybe than oil. So I get this nice, this is a nice number 5 almost. But I don't get all the oil off it. It looks like the oil's off it, but it's not. Things will run. So, all those straight edges we want will be gone. All right. We can lay this out a few different ways. Well, it's close, almost midpoint in the painting. This, the horizon. So if we lay this out right, I got to get in front of it. Just below halfway. Okay. That's your horizon. Where this guy's basically, he's going to be where his head is. Oops. Well, I'm going to take it up. Take it above the horizon. Never mind that. Okay, we'll cut that part out of the thing. So he's just about a third. And then this guy's come back over here to about a third. Just break this up. That's the street. This is the other building. I think the street there. Then the other buildings there. So we're going to get rid of that. Move this one over. Say that's the street. All right. So everything from that point, you can go straight down. And get the building coming in here a little bit. Overhanging. And we're going to get the windows in. This is the overhang. Then the top of the building goes up. Flowers are going to be right in here. Windows up there, a couple windows up there, but we can't do, there's just lines. Let's do the mid-size here. This section here, it goes slightly off. Okay. Close, then the windows go right underneath that, or could be that. And then halfway up, this is the bottom of the building, probably right about here. Then vertical, I'm just going to take this in one. And say that's the edge. So this will help me keep those things. That's it. That's one window, little space. Straight with the other one. And then just a little tighter. About the same space. And then everything else goes back to about here. And that's right here would be the guy. You know, we got this coming out, jets out. That jets out more about here. A little area there. And then he is basically nothing more than rectangle and a head. So it's really close to where he is. So that building's done. Okay, the next point here is basically for the street. A couple straight lines and things. We got a gutter. A little bit wider for, and then the width of the build. That could have been a little wider. I could, oh, well, that's okay.
Question on composition on this one. If I've got, so over on the left-hand side, I've got a post or, something, a vertical.
Yeah.
If you want to, if it's near the edge of the canvas, do you want to make it, there's a post and then there's a dark space and then it goes off? Or do you just want to fill that in with to make it black?
Um,
Did that make sense?
yeah, I know what you mean. You're talking about this square right about there.
Yeah,
In
down where the awning comes out.
Yeah, yeah,
Below the awning, there's kind of a pole.
right. Right in here.
So do you just make that a black spot?
Yeah, I'm just gonna make that black
Okay.
spot.
Okay.
Yeah. No detail there. Just basically it's gonna be dark and a mid-tone. No highlight, basically. It just so it doesn't have a lot of doesn't jump out too much. I think these guys go back to this spot. So yeah. Let me get about the height I need. Everything's gonna lower just a little bit here for the straight. The straight's going to turn at this one point, be just right here. It's going to turn, so everything is going to turn back right about here and everything. So what I was doing here is just trying to get some of the basic straightness before I go in and modify everything a little bit, trying to get the really the things. Maybe this goes a little wider, that kind of stuff. A lot of stuff. This kind of stuff. We'll do it on its own. I probably could have made this street a little bit wider here, but we're good enough. Also, I want to get this one spot here. This would be the other building. Okay. That could be a little bit wider. A little wider, but goes back in the same spot. I just want to make these guys wider. Yeah, and the thing is making things wider and stuff. You know, if I need to shift things around. Yeah. I don't have to be perfect anymore, but I have a basic good guide for that. This one, like I said, was top of the building. And that goes back to this one, this spot.
I sure wish I'd thought of all of that before I did it in by hand.
You could, you know, I can do it by hand too.
It wasn't a challenge, Jim. It was just, boy, your way is so much easier.
I'm just trying to show you one point perspective.
I'll remember that for the next time.
How it really works. And it's not that difficult, but it simplifies this kind of stuff really nicely. That you know where it goes, and yeah, if you can do it by out of your head, you know, by freehand, that's great. But if you don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. So, and then you get this building over here, basically 3/4 of the way up here. Just give it a little bit more. There you go, right there. Even with the outside, straight down. There's your building. This is that little thing, signage that comes out of there. Yeah, it goes off. We just don't make it too dark. That's the thing. I think more, you know, little things like this, you know, when you do these things, have it be part of the scene, have things come off it, and you'll be fine. There's a few other buildings back in here. I get coming back to that point. And the top of that building. Windows too. Everything comes back to that thing. Tops of the windows, bottoms of the windows. All go back to that one same point. And then the basically there's nothing but straight little vertical in between them. Last building comes in here. Just on the other side here, almost. Let me clean this out here. So I'm starting to make here. I think this is the last part of that building. And as long as everything's on this little horizontal line, the horizon line, you know, these other buildings and stuff are fine. Let's see, I'd say right about here. No, everything is going to come back to this spot. For that last building in the back. Just gonna, its vanishing point just goes back over here, but it all kind of still connects around. Tops of the middle of the building. Then you have the circle up there. Will be good. No, I just need to find it, and it should be right here on the edge of the street, straight up and down. And then you got the buildings in the back. This building here, that's off about here. That's how you can lay it out. You can lay it out with just a ruler, or you can lay it out by your hand. A lot of this stuff back in here definitely is just straight up and down. You don't have to go too much more than that. Just got to go back in now and, get this area here a little bit cleaner. The road turns a little sooner, it gets thinner, so it's going to go right to here. Then we got this building coming out. Definitely have some things coming back. And then the back buildings back in here on the road, right about here. Right here. I tell you, it's always like, and you don't have to be perfect. That's a great thing. You just got to be close. You get these first windows, and we do a good job on these. You got that. You got the little bit of edge to the building here, coming up and arcing in here. And then you got a little bit of stuff. So this helped. This is about it. Drawing wise, you got pretty much it. Everything is going to just get smaller as we go back here. Even smaller. There might be another awning here. It comes out. I'll find that. The square breaks up that thing. Okay. In the middle of these windows, just slightly. Oh, I did get that one. That is different. Okay, good. That is the middle of the windows. I'll use it. All right. There is a lot of drawing that can be done. And this looks a little messy. Let me just make sure I got the street cleaned up so you can at least see where I'm going. The street just comes back in here, flows in there. Probably I should have taken it over a little farther. I think I will. I'm just going to use that line, and then we'll take this stuff over a little bit farther. Just to make that street just a little wider right here in the middle. Okay, let's put in some darks. See if we can hold this thing down a little bit so we can find our way here around it. Simplify, right? This is the thing. This is where the key thing, simplifying your painting. When you got something like this, the best thing to do is to keep it simple. Now I'm going to look at my colors, my dark colors. We're going to start with those. I want the framework of the building up here, the top, the reddest, darkest I can get. So I'm going to look over here, find the reddest, darkest color I have there. And that's going to be transparent oxide and blue on the red side. I'm going to start with that for this front feature. And all I have to do is paint the under part of this guy coming up. We'll start with that, being a transparent color.
That was the first one?
Yeah, it's the first for transparent oxide and blue. This is on the transparent side, though. It is, it looks a lot darker when it's full strength. But as soon as you put it in here like this, it starts to peter out a little bit. So I might try looking at the blue side a little bit. Let me see this. Yeah, I'm going to go just a little bit more blue into it at the front edge here. This is just really what I'm trying to do is dictate the value changes everywhere else. So this being some of the darkest areas of the painting. Everything else is lower. So if we get this, we're fine. I might even come here and nibble a little lower. And see where else I can put this. Because I'm keeping it really strong here. And I just added a little bit more blue to it. There's a few arches that come in here. This is what this cheap brush comes in handy for. It's this stuff right here. I can draw a line like that and all the bristles stay in line. They don't get out of place. I can draw straight lines like that with a big brush like this. It's beautiful. It's a beauty. It's a beautiful thing. So it makes all this other stuff so much easier to do. But this is just what I want to do is just set myself up. We call it for this, set myself up with the structure of this painting with this dark, and so it's kind of nice to have that, that line drawn for me like that. It really kind of, makes nice, helps it out. So that's my dark. There's I know you can't probably see this, but there are some nice marks. It looks very dark, but there are some nice marks in there. So that'll be your dark, your warm dark. That's going to come forward and come at you. The next one, I'm going to go swing over here to phthalo green and light oxide. This is on the green side. I'm going to try at least to see it goes. And I'm going to put it on this building across from it. And I'm just going to get rid of pretty much everything underneath the awning and go with this. And if you can cut around those little
Wow.
spots like that, if you can cut around them, that's great. You can't, don't worry about it. We can always come back and find the point here, the vanishing point, and come back, and you'll be surprised. You can drop this ruler right on top of your paint.
Well,
And it won't really make a mark that much. Nothing that you can't, touch with your finger and get rid of. So if you ever get lost, you feel like something's not right, you can come back to your vanishing points. So this is the green side of this color too. So this is the red side over here. Well, this is transparent oxide and blue. This is green and light oxide. And it's coming along there. Now back in here, this gets really light too. This is beyond the green side too, but it is just a little too dark for going back there. It needs to come almost to almost just above a 7. So I'm just taking this the same color, just adding a little of the 7 value to it, probably getting it to like more of an 8. And doing the bottom of this back building here, back in there. And I'm just going to lay this color in underneath here too. And come down, touch the straight. Okay. And then anything behind there, maybe more on the red side. Same color, just on the red side. Just here, right behind this guy's head. There's a few little spots here. Just going from green to red will get is the correct distance. You can see it. You can see how this comes forward. This recedes a little bit. That work. This red though would be almost all the noogies that are in this of the poles and everything in this building. Just being on the red side. Same value, just a little bit on the red, warmer side. And that takes care of pretty much the bottom of this building almost, except for a few little highlights. Let's come over here. And, that's one of the things. I hate getting white in my brush too soon. But that's okay. Got to do it. It's going to get there. I want to put probably a little bit more blue into my transparency. I need it on the blue side, on the dark side. I want to do the windows here. And I'm not going to worry about the highlights or anything. I just want it a little bit more blue in it. So they recede a little bit more. So I'm going to paint these dark windows in the front.
Oh Lordy, which one are the blue?
This transparent oxide and blue. Okay. And I just added just a touch more blue to it now.
The fourth one?
The first one. The first one. Transparent oxide. Transparent oxide and blue.
Okay, lots of blue.
This is mostly blue.
Okay.
Trying to just keep everything on this because this is great. This will work. That's that. Now that worked there. Over here we have we did the phthalo green side for most of this building. This is where you just got to jump around. This is just making these adjustments so I can get, I'm getting distance. And now everything else falls into these distances. Back in here, right here at the end of the street, where you have these buildings here, basically. Those are going to be some of your lightest buildings. No contrast. This dark I put in there even is too dark for leaving those lines. I just wanted to show you that. But here you got these awnings here. You can get those a little bit more. Okay. All right. So the windows are pretty much in. All I got to do is put in the highlights and some of the things like that. There are little teeny things you want to do to them. All right. So that's our darks. I mean, we can paint the guy in, but he's one of the things you want to paint in at the end.
Yeah.
Because, he's going to have to sit in a certain spot. I mean, he has to be a certain size. And if I put him in now, we got to paint around him, and he's going to be just weird. All right. So now it's time to just put in this very front edge of the building, this front area, basically where everything below this guy's feet in the painting. I want to put a tone in there. I want to push it a little darker. So I can get a lot of midtones, all the midtones through it when I add the light and stuff. So I'm still going to stay with a little bit of the darker colors, mostly transparent oxide and blue, but I'm going to stay here with, this is the transparent side. And I want to put in, I'm going to overpaint. So where it's going to go.
So what have you done? Just added a lot of oil to that? There's no
Yeah,
oil.
just a little bit more oil in the
Okay.
Still staying really light. But I want to overpaint where it's going to go on the side here. And because you can see you can see the blue, you can see the green thing. So the warm side stays on the sidewalk, and I can come over here and do the same thing, more on the sort of the sidewalk, and then into this little bit into the street section. And it's nice to have these lines just as a good guide. They don't have to be perfect. Let me see the green side too over here. Okay. This would be right up against it in this gutter. Right in here. Just a little greener, a little warmer there, a little greener in the streets. And then just in the middle section of the cobblestone part here, the wider section in the street, the middle of the street. Drag it up just to tone it. Because what I'm hoping is going to happen is the midtones will come in here and make the gradation of everything, all the darks we need. From the darks to the lights to that and to the midtones. And then you just have to put in the lights. So just soften these guys up a little bit so it's not so perfect. And that can stay a little warmer even. That comes out a little bit too far. It should stay almost even with that thing. So right about there. Where it turns. Okay. Got it?
My green has overtaken my world here.
Well, you might be a Viridian girl. We might have to send you to the Viridian side of the colors.
I cannot stand Viridian.
Okay, well then you love Phthalo.
I love Phthalo, yes.
There you go. Okay, then you could stay. All right, so that's the street values underneath. You know,
okay.
using the darks and stuff. And don't try to make them too pretty. Okay, because you want grunge a little bit. You know, don't blend them out. Let the colors be a few things. That's what's happening. That's what we want. The building on this side, we can do the underpainting or more of the underpainting. I'm going to go with the red side of this is phthalo green and the light oxide red. This is the oxide red side. Still very no white. The only white I put in was back in here just to get the distance because it was this color just adding a little white to it. And I wanted to. So the bottom of this building, I'm going to start at the bottom of the building and work my push the dark up, the red dark up where I can, and start to make this edge turn here, that little thing that sticks out here right by the guy, that one little spot there sticks out, rest of the building. Then you can start to, this is really good just gets the form right. And now it's all lightening up a little bit here and there. Now you can see how cool this color is compared to that red, that transparent oxide and stuff. And it just great because it just does what we want. It just gives you that separate tone that we need here. Okay. I got to get in between the windows here. There's just probably a plaque of some sort, it looks like. And then up here, top area, just a little dark. I'm going to take this is transparent oxide again in phthalo green, full strength. I'm going to paint the top of the building up here too. Get this out of the way right around where the geraniums are going up here. Looks like there is an overhang that comes all the way to about right down where the guy is, right about there. It's almost straight down in the middle of the painting. Really, what comes over that far? Or that could be whatever. We barely see it. So let's just pull these two areas together to simplify it. I'm going to use this color too. This red. I'm going to use it up here just to for these things. Now, as long as I don't lose all of my straights, I can at least point them back to where they should go. I'm in good shape. All right, I'm holding off of anything in this street. So that's my darks, pretty much all my darks going in here. Really, everything else, except for this guy here is midtones, and we'll paint him in, like I said, in the end. All right. Well, let's get going on the midtones. they're all the 7s, working down to the 5s, or 4s we did, 7s to 4s to 2s, 3s and 2s. So I like to get this guy out of the way. I'm going to switch to just a regular, another synthetic for these front wind ones. And I'm going to try these transparent oxide in blue, but on the transparent side, so it's really transparent. So it's kind of a red brown. And I'm just going to make my first mark is it going to be in between the windows, that little plaque right in here. I'm just putting that in as to see to judge the other values around it. That's about right. This is about right for that plaque, but it's not rich enough for the bricks.
Sorry, Jim, what pile is that? It looks green. Is it the gray green?
Yeah, it's great. It's transparent oxide and blue.
Okay, no, it's not. All right.
But it's on the way on the transparent side. Yeah, it really is it yeah, it is a little warm. So it might be like for like nice little pieces of the building back in here and above. Yeah, right underneath the geraniums. Comes in really handy. This is a little cooler, so it might go on the blue side. But from the top of that building here, can definitely be the transparent oxide and coolness in back in here. But I want to it's in this area here of the building, but that has a little bit of more orange to it, or red. I'm looking at maybe just adding a little cad red to my brush. Yeah, just a touch of cad red for these bricks. And it's just a little bit. This is from the geraniums to and really the one thing is knowing that there's a front edge, there's the side of the building here, that these bricks have to go this way. They can't go and then the ones on the front edge of the building, which come down here, they have to follow to the point there. They got to follow to the vanishing point. And I'm just going to lighten it up. Just turn it and lighten up. Could have been bristle brush, might be the better call. Because one of the things I'm not going to try and do is paint any bricks, except for maybe a couple right here on the edge. Or everything else, I want to be efficient with my paints. We don't have to be exact. You just have to be right value, right temperature. And that's all we're going for. And up here, everything's going to be just very simple, very dark, mid-tone. That's it. On top of that building. And leave it. What you want to hit, though, would be the front, this front piece of this dark here, where we hit the building here. We hit the top of the building here, going into the drain, right underneath the geraniums.
Your finger was covering that, so
Okay, we're right here.
there you go.
We
Gotcha.
got that up there. But this point here, yeah, we want to hit this a few different. Basically, it's only 2 spots we got to hit. I'm going to hit this with just a little cooler version of that. Just a little mid. This is the mid-tone transparent. No, it's not transparent. Sorry, not transparent oxide in blue. It's phthalo green in light oxide red on the green side at 7. Up there is transparent oxide going in blue, going into the basically the building. Now this is like going onto the front of this area here. I just want to hit this right. So it's just following it up. It's really close, just slightly dark. Slightly light. Got to come back with the dark and find the mid, restroke that thing the same way. Really close, just a hair darker. Right about there. And the same here, there's just a little break in it. And now that my paintbrush has been touched with both colors, it's mixed. Now I can do the arc in this side here coming down this and do these under things. There's a couple little spaces here. You hit one and then you hit hit a couple lines. There's like 3 lines here you got to make going down. Then if you hit them right, everything else you don't have to touch. Okay. Now I'm looking at that color and I know that's the color for the cross in this building, these windows. So I'm going to try. Let me see if I can do it. Well, this is just putting in some of the details for you. So I know I go right back in here. Okay. I go right to there. And split this slightly on the back, just on the other side of half. Should have cleaned it. Cleaned it in between. That's okay. All right. And then couple highlights up there. Down in here, basically I just want to be able to touch my brush into the dark right on the line. Just a little bit. Need a dark right underneath them. All right. That brush is too big. All right. There is a little plate underneath. Let me see if I can lay that in. So this side's working out all right.
Wow. Yeah.
You don't have to do too much. The simpler you do it, you know, it's what it is. You don't want to get too complicated, because when you get complicated here, you got to get more complicated everywhere else. All right, this building, let's do work on this side of the street now. Let's finish that up. Then we'll do the things, and everything else should be done. Midtown's basically, what color? I got kind of greenish on my thing, so it's perfect for the awnings. Let's look at the awning color. Transparent, or I'm just going to go with phthalo green and oxide. I think it's going to be for these guys up here, just on the green side. This is just a hair dark for now. It looks good though. Let's go a little bit lighter on the back one. There's one here. There's one there and one in the front. Yeah. That could go just a hair lighter too. Maybe I got to go shoot down one. I'm looking at this one here. Yeah, that's a lot better. They're just catching a little bit more light right in here. And that's the front thing. Then there's a in between little part here, and then there's two windows. So I want to make sure I'm on the dark side of this. Coming up. And then now it's dark enough that I can do the in between of the farther back ones. I'm just going to go in between with my brush. And then catch the very front face of it on the edge. So you can see the full strength of the color goes here, second strength. Then after it mixes, goes there, and then the final goes at the back. No, I went too far. Oh, oh. Okay, I'm going to go back and grab some more. This is just green and light oxide, red, down to about a 7. This is on the red. Well, it's on the green side, reddish of red. Then there is a box here, a little flower box that separates this area here. Being able, this is where a great synthetic like this, rosemary synthetic, just you can get these beautiful squares, shapes. You can do it with other synthetics too, but these guys are just beautiful. Just a few marks. So everything's done there except for a couple poles that kind of come down here off the side here. I'm not exactly sure what they are, so we don't give them any loving. We did these guys back in here. They just need their a little bit lighter. This part of the building back in here, just there's a few things at the very straight level that get a little lighter. That's too light. that was going down to 4. Just mix the two colors together and get it back to about a 5. And then tone that one down a bit on the edge. And then trying to just see what these things might be, you know. The nice thing is, yeah, this thing's a little out of focus. There's not much back in here to see. That keeps us from going there too. I'm always looking at what's on my brush and where it might go. So I had that dark in that middle of this guy here. You know, just a nice value change into the dark. And then I'll have to come back in and just put the framing on it. Up here, that's not bad. It's just a little bit lighter at the top. So I'm just looking where this color goes, basically. This is oxide, light oxide red, phthalo green on the red side. Still feels very green. This is at 7. There's just a few things above this building here, right there. And I caught the very top edge of that thing coming down. This is pretty good. I'm going to look, a lot of times you have to look, you know, one more time at what's there. I'm just doing the real rough of it. Now this color here, now I'm going to come back with a bristle brush, about the same size, kind of big bristle brush, and start working on the streets with this value of 7. And see what it does. It's just a nice number 10 size for me. And just start to work here. I'm gonna work on this right next to the building because I think I can see how this goes. So this is just transparent oxide and blue. So it's back to our first few colors. This is that transparent side where I really push the transparent side where this red is showing already. Just needs to be warmer here and there. Basically, I want to look for is making the pattern of this part straight here. These and just make it with a couple strokes over the colors. Trying to keep as much showing through as I can, you know, so I don't get too detailed yet. And then we'll start making adjustments color-wise, reflective-wise. So that's a transparent, that side really didn't get as rich as I thought it was going to be. It's kind of like that. A little more orange, yeah, here and there. Kind of what we did with the bricks here. Every once in a while, come back. Hit a brick. Well, in between the street here and the gutter, you know, there's the gutter here between the thing here. So I'm making sure I get, that's going to go just slightly darker than this guy. And then there's nest here. And I'm looking for the mid-tone again, color. I'm not really looking for the highlight color. I'm hoping, trying to figure out what's warm and what's cool. The basic lines in the street are going to have a lot of red in them. Down in here, there's cobblestones, a lot of more red in it. So I'm going to go to the oxide side and bring that back in. It's just, I'm going to come back. Let me see if this is just regular oxide here. Oh, that's too cool. So it has to be the transparent side. Okay. I'm putting in like pure transparent oxide into this area here just to get the warmth at this front of this area here. And with a bristle brush, it's great with a bristle brush because I'm not, it's hard to, you're just going to get a mess, but you're not going to get a lot of mixing. I mean, you're still going to get a lot of nice clean colors like that. So I'm going back, and this is just transparent oxide into my midtones, just to get that richness in the very bottom here. Oh man, I just could have. So I got a lot of greens mixed in. That's good. That's good. It's gonna be fun. That's the thing. Too. We got a nice thing to work off of. This building here, God, it just feels like I kind of need to come down a little bit. Keeping it on the same, that's going to that same point, but just a little. I think I missed the very bottom of that underneath the flower boxes here. I just missed a little bit of the building there. Let's paint this back building there. You're going to get that. That is, again, there's that red. You might have to bring in, this is at 7. This is the transparent oxide and blue, right? And it is just a little not red enough. Oh, so I'm going to add just a little cad red to my brush and to that mix. Cad red light. Yeah. That's a lot closer to what I need. So I'm just tinting that color over just a hair so I can get this back in here. It still feels the same, but doesn't jump out. So I was trying to go in between here. A few of these windows here, so I'm not gonna go too far. I'm gonna look and see. Now it's like right here on this area here above it goes a lot lighter. So I'm gonna look see if there's any other little spots here. I can put this color before I put it away. I might put it a little bit on this back building there, right there in the underneath the. That might be just a back building behind it. So this just comes out a little bit, and this might be just a back building back in here coming up. Okay, let me get rid of this. This is perfect for the windows back there, though. Okay. This is really good. I'm going to go to my lighter colors and start to bring those guys in. I'm going to start using them back in here. And then when they just get a little messy, maybe I'll bring them up. So I'm going to start with the street, trying to get the street here. Coming around the edge here. Okay. So let's start. This is blue and transparent oxide. This is on the blue side. That's really close to the street color here. Almost perfect, which is good. It's almost perfect. Almost perfect is good. It's going to go here. And then I'm going to, usually I would like to have this going into the darks a little bit more, maybe back in here before I brought this color fully in here. I think I just need to work this back just a touch more here. Get a little more transparency going in this area here. Just a little bit more dark. Basically on the edges of where the street is and the sidewalk meet. Right in here. And then bring that color back in. So that was just blue and transparent oxide with white on the blue side. And that way I can start to get it here. And when I bring it to here, it goes to a little warmer. Right where you make where it makes the turn on the edge here of this thing here. Goes warmer. So I'm just going to go to the warm side of the color. No, I'm not. I'm going to go to the green side. Let me see this. It should be green. Yeah. Really close to the same value. Just goes to this greener. So this is a green and oxide red light. And this is at 4. And that color is going to come down. I just wanted just a touch more oxide in that color. Just a little more red in it. I'm stealing some more cad red. And when I come down here, I'm starting back here full strength. And then when I'm going to drag my brush and just relieve the pressure as I come down. And just let the two meet and just get that straggly scratch there. And redo it again for the middle of the street and the other side. Just do about the same thing. All right. And then all you have to do is find a few little spots here that get a little bit heavier on this side here. And we just gonna leave a space in between them and make kind of start off with a patchwork down in here telling everybody this is a cobblestone. And then back in here, you don't have to do much but smaller marks. And everybody, it's believable. Right in the middle, though, gets a little lighter. I'm just going to work that in a little bit, too. So I went down to its brightest here. This is at number 2, basically. And I'm just going to bring it in here. And then just bring it into the middle of the street a little bit. And that's as bright as that street's going to get.
I can't even get it that bright. Jeez.
It is really.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah.
What is the sound of one hand scraping?
Can you hear that? You?
Yeah.
That's where that rubber thing comes in handy if you made
Oh, I was meaning to ask you about how to make that. I missed.
It is so scientific. It's so
just
yeah, yeah. They're pretty simple. It's just basically the dollar store things. You get these.
a spatula,
They're
right?
like spatula. You get this two-sided one. You could do a regular spatula too if you want to buy a bunch of spatulas. This one comes with two sides. I just cut them with the straight scissors, and want one big end, one medium-sized end, and then two smaller ends that are not exactly the same. So you have a lot of options in one tool.
So you're trimming them with a scissor.
Oh, that's the secret. Don't give it away. That's where the money is. Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. That's your painting right here. Is just really not going to get any brighter than this. This is it. And right behind, now I'm coming back on this side of the thing. Just a little bit of bringing in the phthalo green side of the transparent oxide side and phthalo green side.
Oh, I'm beginning to see it.
And you just bring that green in, little spots. And with a bristle brush, you're great because you don't have to, it's going to do all the work for you. But you just got to know where to stop and when to stop. And that's always the thing in painting. Thank you. And then a bristle brush, just pulling it through these colors and not overworking them. And then one of the things is also realizing that you got the wrong color and not going too far with it. Right? You put the wrong color on me, but don't keep going. Stop. Find the right color. That should at least help you to tell you where the right color is. But value wise, that's way too light. Darken it up. All right. And then this is it, just catching the edges. This is this little water spot right here. Okay. Finding the ins and outs, the direction of the light. And then one of the things is just catching the right edge of that brick. This is without the dark in it yet, so. And pink highlights, and you're done. Still got some darks in here to put in. And when things shoot too far, get a little bit too bright, you can darken them down. So this is where the guy goes over here. So I want to just get this dark here, a little darker on the edge. With this bristle brush, before I go to a smaller one, I'm just going to do a quick wipe of it and then go to my green and do the underneath here. blue and ochre here. And put it in and get these guys in. Take it up a little bit, let it live, take it over, and then figure out I'm going to probably clean up the edges of this thing with the sky. Which, check, I should probably even, could almost start getting in now. But keeping that dark, maybe adding some blue dark, a little darker right in here, close to the building. This is just blue and transparent oxide going into that green I already have in here. Just on the very, very bottom, maybe. That'll give it a little base, a little spot right here. Weight coming down. I'm not going to go with a light green because of my brush is just too dirty. To do it, it's not a good time to do it. So I'm going to go step back to new brushes and go with another bristle brush and get this farther back areas and all my lights. So these are going to be all the number twos and lighter, number twos values and stuff. Seeing which values, like this building here, if I can find the right reddish tone towards. This is just, a little trial and error. That's pretty close. Probably go just a touch more red into it. Just a hair red. Okay. Gray roof, gray, reddish roof. Just enough paint. One of the things, don't be too cheap with the paint. That's pretty good. And then they got this other building here. That's pretty good. That's really good. It just needs to be a little more red. These are. No, that's not too light. That's too light. Okay. That's almost too light. Oh, might have to stay closer to 3s and 4 or 2s. This. Let's find a warmer. This is transparent oxide and blue for this guy, just on the transparent side. Got a few of these darks in here. Now everything's really gonna end up starting to be into really mid-tones finishing up here. Yeah, we're at time already. Jeez, we didn't get anywhere.
My
Uh,
sentiments.
Yeah, you'd be surprised about how far we really are, though. 1 second here. Let me clean my brush. Put in the sky.
Oh, this guy, right?
And the sky is pretty simple. And then we'll see what you guys have. So, knowing I'm going to have. Oh, that's really rich. Almost too rich. I was thinking about that when I made it. Just a little bit too much blue showing through. Let me see if I can gray it out with just a little more yellow. Oh, in the middle. Might need. Hmm. Oh, okay, it's more. All right, phthalo. It's oxide red and phthalo green instead of blue. Just a little more on the red side, grayed out more towards a. Just trying to get the color out of it now. And then get the lightness back in with the. So the blue is just getting a little too rich, and I was just thinking it was there, thinking it was there. What? Okay, so grayed out a little bit. Then you look for a few spots in this back area where you start to bring in, and these are just pulls with the brush. They are not too much of any there's not much movement. You know, just a smaller brush, maybe. And with these lighter things, you can find it on the pink side, especially when you start to get to the highlight areas down in here. You're gonna get this little light line here, this nice little bristle I can use to draw with sky color, basically. And I just got to bring that sky color back into a few things here for the reflections. And then this goes right on the edges of the street. And you use your darks, very, very, very darks. This is I would come back with like probably on the red side of everything. This is oxide red, phthalo green on the red side. And I'd use that for this very front line here, going here. starting it and then stopping right about there. Can come back and do this line. Nope, can't. Feed it forward here. And then this would also be what I'd be using for my little speck of darkness. They only go, like I said, up to the guy here. He's got to be hit here. He's just going to be a rectangle. Again, nice stiff bristle might be the best way. Full dark.
Okay, looks like it's leaning. Okay, there we go.
Mine?
No, mine.
Oh. I wouldn't doubt mine's leaning. I'm painting from that angle here, right? So for him, basically, phthalo green and oxide red, light oxide red, full strength for his coat. Go to the blue and transparent oxide, get the blue for his pants. Definitely, just the tip of the brush should do it. And the girl over there, definitely, she's just more brown. She's not like well, I don't know why you can say, but she's right in here and you're just finding the right spot for her. That's her. And then you got the back guy who has a red coat on. And he's pretty small. If he's that big, I'd be surprised. I think these guys pretty much work. I might have to add to be a lot of stuff there. That's a really good starting point. A lot of the stuff is just now putting in the details of putting in those darks and lights. You put them in with a few things. You put them in that, then you come back and you put in these guys, like I was saying, you do an H here in the ground. Offside, it's a little higher H. And then a low H, spread it, give it about space. A low H, and that's it. No, definitely don't want that, but that's how you do these things. And then you just switch off to a lighter color for the whites. And try to make them as light as possible. Don't let them get too carried away. Have fun. And that's about it. I'll bring you in for a little closer on it. You can start seeing the windows. Just setting up the darks for your space. You're making sure you got your darkest darks in the front, the warmest ones, because they're going to need all the contrast. They'll bring everything forward. And then your mid ones go here, and then your lightest ones go in the back. These ones just need to go a little lighter, or this one's got to come back darker, I think. But that's a lot of the little cleanups that's got to be done. All right. Kelly, everybody, Lisa, Sarah.
Let's see, where are we?
Kim's gone. We don't have to worry about her. Let's see who wants to turn theirs up and show it. Lots of work to go yet, but it's just light now. It's the darks are in pretty much now. It's just balancing it, making sure I don't want to change I don't want this to get too dark. I mean, And I don't want to put any more darks back in here. So it's all going to stay very light in the very back. So, what we got? We got Shelly. See what you did? You
Let me
got up
see.
early to paint.
Yeah, true.
Did this help you at all?
Let me see if I can do this properly.
Good job.
No, it's not.
You'd be surprised when I see and you see. I think you got the basics of it really good.
I'll try it this way. See if I can do it. Yeah. Well, that takes it for that. Just shut it off?
Yeah, you shut it off.
I did. Okay. So you saw that part of it. It's honestly I'm gonna have to take this giant tube of white that I have and throw it away. This is the third or fourth time I put white into something, it does absolutely nothing. So it's frustrating.
You were at the high key end of it too, yeah. So I can see a problem there.
Yeah.
It's really just. I think your things are good. I think you just keep going. I think it's not you got a lot of color there yet, and you might need if it's too bright, it's just. I mean, if it's showing too much red, you got to put a little more green towards it. Just to gray it out, gray your colors out just a hair much more, touch more. And there's a lot of times it's not going back and repainting the whole shape. It's just catching a piece of the shape, and graying it out, and you'll be good.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you.
No worries. Carrie, she's the one who wanted this.
Hey, yeah.
This
is hard. Okay, wait.
It's hard. Yeah, you say that, but
There we go.
Oh,
I got lost. I'm gonna have to go
Wow.
back and rewatch.
that front building. It's all about the two front buildings, and just catching enough essence of the other buildings to be something. And I think you caught the guy really good. You're gonna call Terry the Street here. You're going to call you. That didn't come out right. Carry the Street. Sorry.
It's a long way before I look like Terry the Street.
Yeah, well, a little bit, but you're going there. I think it's just keeping your colors grayed out. You're just, you got the underpainting done really nice, and you got everything going. It looks like pretty consistently. The thing is, these old streets like this is, not being really tied down to. Yeah, I mean, we got the perspective. We know it's right. We can move things around if we have to, because this like an old street. Some of the charm of the street is not being perfect, which gives us a lot of leeway to have some fun. So I'm just trying to say, have some fun. Keep going. Keep fun. Just don't, gray out the colors. You'll be good. I think you're at the point where you're at the ugly stage, where you keep going 2 more steps, and the painting will show itself.
Okay.
Believe me.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
No worries.
I really like the idea of the building of colors, going from, the building of layers of colors underneath is pretty fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. Lisa, did you paint?
I did. And I'm going to tell you, I want to go back to horses, okay?
I was going to say that. I
want horses. I don't like buildings. But when I saw this last night, I thought, oh, crap. But I'm going to try it. So I did try it, and I went small because
it's a good one to go small on.
It was a practice.
Yeah.
And I don't know how well you can see.
Okay.
Mine is very...
I love the darkness.
Very muddy, I guess.
No. You guys see dark as mud, and it's not brown as mud. it's only mud when it's in the wrong space.
Oh, okay.
That is,
I don't know if
you
that
got that looks very, very solid.
Okay.
You got the essence, you got the shape of the design. You just gotta go light and then
Well, I will tell you that I sketched it out prior to, but I lost a lot of my sketching and my painting too. And I still, like I say, I think it's one of those that I'll be able to work some more with it, but it was a challenge for me, a big challenge for me, okay?
yeah.
The boats. So, but I did like this, and like I said, I do plan on trying to finish it out and everything. So,
Hey, we got horses coming up on Thursday for you. Remember?
I got well, and I will tell you that I actually took off work to be able to be there Thursday. So,
Uh-oh. No pressure at all.
I will be there. It's just like I say, I love horses, painting horses and dogs and wildlife and everything, and I've never really done a lot of architectural stuff, but I do know that I need to practice that more. So
It was, it's different. It is different. It's just a different side of the brushes sometimes. So, but congrats. That's a really great start, to tell you the
Thank
truth.
you.
I really like the way you held the design, the strength, the darks and stuff. You're just working back into them now, working your midtones back into your darks to just pull out the details, small details, and then just halfway through in the middle of the
horse in
painting,
the
you just
back.
got to start the light. Yeah, put a horse going across. Put a guy with big black fuzzy hat on, and a red shirt, red coat on, riding his horse across the back end, and you'd be perfect.
Don't forget the
could be cool.
dogs.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
It is. All
thank
right.
you.
Like
Hey,
that.
if you want to put horses in it, you can do that. I can drop one in for you and send it to you.
Okay.
All right.
Don't forget the
See.
dogs.
Ah, nice. Good grays. Value
Nice.
grays are being very good on the grays. The streets come along really well.
Oh, thank you.
It's a lot of, you got the basics really great on that. Congrats.
Thank you.
The darks are nice and strong in the front, and going back a little bit. Yeah, when you start to dig into some of those big blocks of color, just see if you can tell the story of what's going on just by one brush mark. Then you made it to another level of painting.
Okay.
That's all you are. You're just that close to doing that. And that's a great start to being able to put the shapes down and leave them and not just muck with them. That's where you do get mud. You just put the shapes down and trust that it's going to get another layer of something in it, and don't get caught up on spots. Move to the next spot. Move to the next part of the painting, and that's where you are. You're like right there. I can see you even got the nice street. The values in the street are nice and changed. Don't lose your darks at the bottom of the painting at all anymore.
Okay.
Everything's just little teeny strokes down there. Everything else goes in the back is just big. See how simple you can paint it.
Okay.
Okay? That's all it is. Beautiful start.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
That's nice. I'm good to see you guys painting like that. Yeah, it's just work sections, move it to the next section, move to the next section, move to this section, come back and start over again.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's just following what's going on in your brush, the colors that are in your brush, and letting that dictate a little bit of where you got to go. The painting takes care of itself pretty quickly. So I'll finish this one up. You guys finish yours up. I'll try to finish it up and put it on with what we're doing. Well, with the recording here, and next week we got. I have nothing for you. Yeah, we'll do an animal for sure next week for Lisa there. No worries. We'll do something really good. I swear. But we only got a few classes left anyway. But this one was just going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, look up Pete the Street if you can. He's really great. And if you can look closely at those things and see, just try to see think about how he painted it or what made that mark.
Right.
You'll be surprised what it will add to your paintings. So,
Are you putting in that Christmas stuff?
oh yeah,
Are you putting in the Christmas wreaths?
I'm gonna put in the wreath because I think it's kind of fun, and it's just a circle. It's a ring.
Right.
It's not Christmassy. I'm not trying to make this. There's not much else in here that's Christmassy. At least they probably don't have the lights on. The lights would be Christmassy, but you can just put in a few details like that. It's okay to be a little seasonal, but I think they won't help. It won't hurt the sale point of it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jim, do you keep going with this class on Saturday?
Yeah. We're gonna keep going. We got spring will start up around the 23rd of March. I got a couple workshops in beginning of March on the weekends, and then after that we start up again and we go for another. I think it's about 8 weeks, 7 to 8 weeks for spring, and then summer is going to be a little different. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do there because I'm kind of, I got to jet all over the world, to do this stuff. So, what can I do?
You didn't make it back here in California.
You guys,
you tried, but you didn't make it. Are you going to try again?
I'd love to, but it's just, I don't know. I'm the worst at advertising. I got this big advertising background. Doing illustration and stuff for advertising for years, and it's hard for me to advertise on my Facebook and
get the word out.
Yeah, so I always feel weird whenever I put it up there that I got a workshop. So I gotta work on it harder because they got to fill, and that's what happened last time in California. I had like 2 people or 3 people, and I couldn't. Yeah, you lose a lot of money traveling.
Yeah, but the weather's really nice.
Yeah, the weather's really. I know. That's the thing is, I probably you got to book them when the weather's terrible here. That people might want to travel and go there. But hey, we'll work on it.
Okay.
And stuff. Be good to see you.
Be fun.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Finish him up. We'll see you next week. Same bat channel, right?
Yep.
That's right. Thank you so much.
All right,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye.
Good job. Really good job.